And we have data to show that more women than men are single because they simply cannot find someone they are interested in dating.
Data matters. Perspective also matters. It can make data look different. So are men not good enough or are women too picky? It's a matter of perspective, as long as you include the facts. Let's see how she does.
A world where more and more men are single because women do not want to date them is a world that's very dangerous for women.
So something bad has happened to women, but not men.
College-educated women are the group most likely to say they are single because they can't find someone that meets their expectations.
So educated women have it worse. Still no mention of anything here.
And I can hear the men in my comments now saying, see, it's women's fault. They have too high of expectations.
Okay, so men are suffering from unreasonable standards.
But let me remind you, women have always entered into marriages with the expectation that it is going to materially improve their lives.
Oh, no, never mind. No material.
We needed husbands for financial security, and now women are doing better than men. We are more educated, we are stable on our own.
Okay, so women did a good thing. They're out there working hard and beating the pants off of men, all by themselves. So what good are men?
When you don't financially need a husband or a partner, you can say, I'm not going to get a partner until I find one that's emotionally supportive, emotionally intelligent.
Okay, and what do you give back?
Doesn't need me to be his therapist and his mom.
Okay.
Doesn't need me to do all the childcare, all the housework.
Those complaints sound familiar.
And men will tell you that these expectations are just simply too much.
Well, to be honest, it sounds like you wanted equal rights, no obstacles between you and success, and when you got it, you still weren't making the same amount of money, and you didn't like that, so you had the government write a bunch of laws to preferentially put you in college and employment, so you don't need men anymore, except for taxes. So now you're getting no material benefit, especially if you went to college, so now you don't need men except for emotional support, but you don't want to be his therapist. Did I leave anything out?
I fear for escalating retaliation and also in legislative and policy decisions.
Oh, how could I forget? So let's recap. You wanted equality, and you got it, but you still made less money, so you had the government fix it. So now that things are equal, men are not good for anything except emotional support, which they do not deserve, and the men who don't like this are dangerous. How can they not see that bad things only happen to you, despite all of your hard work paving roads and fighting wars? So yeah, I think this is a little much. Pause if you would like extra blood pressure.
That's why I worry about retaliation of men who cannot make it worth it for women to want to date and marry them.
This whole situation is like having my car towed and then saying, "Why are you late?" But I guess pointing that out makes me a dangerous failure, which really should give you a clue about this, but still does not. If you're gonna insist on having these, it would be nice if you could at least admit that they're there.
Of course they won't mention those things. Shout out Maath here. He does an excellent illustration on these things. He's the first of his kind. He actually breaks down these things that women do not mention. But I want to speak to something before we go ahead and cut this whole clip in my commentary. This woman said that before in the past, women looked to marry men and get with men so they could be financially taken care of. But now it says a percentage of the United States population who have completed 4 years of college or more from 1940 to 2022 by gender is more women. So women think now that they're doing better than men in these fields and they're more educated. That's incorrect. Women are more enrolled in college, aka meaning they're more in debt now, because women get into useless fields. They don't get into the fields that pay the most, which is STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. But men, they're still in those fields because men are more interested in things, women are more interested in people. So they get into things like that. They get into social work. They become teachers. They become, they run beauty parlors, social places like that. So to sit up here and try to say, oh, we're more educated. No, you're more enrolled. That doesn't mean you're more educated. A person with an education, in cosmetology can still be a retard. That's just how it goes. But anyway, man, these women like this, they just end up with plants, cats, dogs, box wine, Jackhammer 3000s, the magic bullet, and they end up eating Breyer's ice cream, crying their eyes out, trying to live like men, trying to be like men when they say that, oh, I only want a man, I don't need a man. Because if you don't want a man, and then you end up needing a man's not going to need you. You can't just want a man. It just doesn't work that way. You need to need that man. But the thing is, women are so deluded to the point where they're dumbed down and they think that they can be like men, they can compete with men, and they can be on the same par and level with men. So what happens? Their hypergamy shoots through the roof. So now if a woman's making, let's say $80,000, and typically men make what? $50,000, the regular general man in the United States, and the general woman makes about $37K. If a woman is exceeding that by $30K, she's going to want a man that's at her level or higher. So her expectations go so much higher than they need to be. She becomes delusional and she starts to believe that she deserves, just because she's in debt, just because she makes a certain amount of money, and she gets into a field that is incentivized to bring women on for diversity purposes, to diversify the workplace. They think that, oh, this is what I deserve. This is my level. Money, acting like men, being in the workforce, saying, oh, I'm up here with men now. It goes to women's head. When women make money, who do they become independent of? They become independent of men. When men make money, they look for women to be dependent upon them. That is the difference. Anyway, man, let's get to the next clip.
Watch this. Wait, she's gonna call back. Told you. Hello?
What do you want me to do? I'll do anything.
Nothing. You can't do anything for me. You cheated on me?
I'll do anything. I didn't cheat on you. I'll do anything.
Talk to God and ask him for forgiveness, because I don't forgive. So.
Why are you talking like that?
Chop that fuck up. She'll call again.
Hey, baby, I look at it this way. If you cross me, you lost me. These hoes ain't loyal, boy.
These hoes ain't loyal. I want to show you an example of something. You asked me about what about women who had many men, and then you specifically brought up Cleopatra. And I spoke to you about how she lost her kingdom because of that. You can't find no other woman after her who have had many men and who was great.
I'm about to look into that.
I have. So that's why I'm having this debate with you. That's why I'm having this. That's why I'm having this. You can't no other. That's why even the Queen of England, she died and ruled for many years, had one husband.
That we know of.
But listen,
we know of.
That's what I'm gonna tell you something about a woman. You won't know nothing else about a woman but what you know of. But everything about a bitch and a hoe, you're gonna know everything about her. Not about a woman. A woman is always gonna be secretive and gonna be reign anonymous. The women today aren't secretive and they're unanonymous. You're gonna know about every man she slept with. But the Queen of England, from Michelle Obama to Coretta Scott King, you won't hear nothing about who they slept with. But great men, you will always hear about great men having many and multiple women, from kings and presidents.
That's the expectation.
But you won't.
Just have.
Well, that's not the expectation. That's the nature and that's the God design of a man. God created a man to be fruitful and to multiply. That's why a woman gets pregnant and remains pregnant for 9 months. And while she's pregnant, a man can continue impregnating other women. She can only get pregnant one time. So it's not designed for her to be with multiple men.
Right, no, I don't disagree with women, being with one man, but I do think that there's kind of like a double standard.
It is.
It's a double standard.
It's a double standard in nature. And we don't make the standards. We operate out of nature. We're humans. We don't get to make the standards of nature. Nature says man is more dominant than woman. Man is physically more stronger than woman. You can't deny that. And mentally.
No, they're not.
Depends on who you're asking.
Okay.
Well, you go to war then.
That's physical.
That's mental.
Okay, yeah.
Because war is not mental. War, you stand in the woods. War is not physical because you don't really get to see your opponent. You guys are shooting from over here.
It's strategic.
Women
are going to war.
But women
they don't get drafted. They enlist for the army.
Women aren't leaders. Women aren't
sergeants.
Women aren't analytical, right?
That's not true.
That is true. That's why women are nurturers and men are hunters. That's why when God created man and woman, one have a emotional makeup and one have a analytical makeup.
Okay.
Because when you ask a man, hey, how do you feel about this? What is he gonna do? If you ask a man, how did he feel? He's gonna tell you what he thinks. You ask a woman what she thinks, she's gonna tell you how she feels. Okay. Why? Because one is a nurturer and one is a natural born hunter. So one is a thinker, an analytic. He's strategic. A woman feels.
But don't you?
And you can't lead with feelings.
Listen, don't you think that you need both in every situation?
A man can't be a man in his feelings.
I'm not saying that. Oh, okay. I'm talking about like there's people that think that there's no place for women in certain industries.
It's not.
Like what?
It's not.
Like what?
It shouldn't be no woman president. It shouldn't be because women aren't designed to lead.
That's not true.
That is true.
Okay. So, but we can push men forward and motivate them to be better, but we can't.
But encouraging and motivating aren't leading. Okay. Come on, baby, you can do it. Come on, baby. Oh, that's motivation, and that's the fuel to say, oh, I can do it. Come on, baby, you can do it. So that's not leading.
Okay.
That's inspiring, motivating. That's what your mother does. Your father comes home and leads.
Charleston White continues to cook and surprise me every single day, aside from all the stuff that people talk about him for and they try to attack him for. This dude is straight on. And this is the issue that we're having today in this gynocentric society where women think that they are, equal to men and egalitarianism and all this garbage. But it comes back down to God's creation. It comes back down to the makeup and the biology of men and women. Men are born laters. Men are here to spread seed far and wide, and women are the nurturers. Women are to have one man. And this all started with Charleston White speaking on women having multiple men and why women aren't leaders. And she's like, well, why? Why can't women be leaders too? Why can't this? And why do men have to go forward? Because that is the genetic makeup. That is how it was created. We can't fight the nature. But you have women that get told this lie: you can be anything, you can do anything a man can do, you can be better than him, all this bull crap, all these lies. But when it comes down to it, you're still gonna need a man to protect you. When it comes down to it, you're not gonna be able to open that can, of pickle, or the pickle jar. You're not gonna be able to unscrew it. You're gonna need to hand it to a man or buy a can opener that was created by a man. You're not going to be able to do certain things without a man. You're still gonna call the police. So it's like, come on, man, just stop it. Get some help.
Don't do drugs. If you're doing it, stop it. Get some help.
Before all you plantation sis and plantation pookies and limps, simps, dimps, and crimps come on here and talk about, oh, those are a bunch of working girls, and oh my God, and they're workers and all this crap. Before you talk about that, the point is, read the caption of the video right in the middle. Ratio of girls in Medellin. This is just one city, but this is an illustration of there are so many more women and the variety of women. The ratio between men and women. That's all this is. If you go to Cali, the ratio is probably the same or close to it. There's more women than men. So that means that there's more opportunities. If you want to go ahead and pay for box or whatever, deal with these working girls, go right ahead. I don't care. I always tell my Bounty villains, don't pay for box. Don't simp out. Don't act all drunk and thirsty. That's dumb. Just don't do that. But I'm saying the point goes to show here, the point of it is the ratio of the women and to men. That means that you don't have to be on the main strip in Medellin. You don't have to be where it's all parties and kicking it. You can actually talk to women and go outside of Medellin, because people like to say, oh, it's dangerous out there. It's not that dangerous. It's really not. There's so many dudes in this comment section saying they just came back from this area. Not all these women are working girls. This guy right here says you need to sit down and shut up, because this is not a lot of the girls were working girls. Some women were out here going to parties, looking to go to clubs, that live at home with their parents. These women are in their 20s. Some of these women are 25. Some of these women are 18, 19, and 20 years old. So obviously it makes sense for non-modern women to be living at home with their parents. So yeah, women always say this dumb stuff. And men in the comment section, they always want to come in and say, oh, they're working girls. They assume every chick is a working girl, when some of these girls may just want to be out there, because you got to understand, this is female nature. Women want to be sociable. They want to socialize. They want to be around other women, whether they are in a certain profession or not. And you got to understand, women are lenient. Just because 3 of them are workers out of 10 doesn't mean the other 7 don't work at a kiosk, don't work at a restaurant, don't have some type of a normal, respectable job. But the point is the ratio. But anyway, man, that's all I wanted to show you guys for today. Make sure you guys like the video, sub to the channel with post notifications on, and comment for the algorithm. I still suggest you get your passport and go travel to a place like this just to get some experience, just to see if you like it. If you don't like it, you could try another country. That's all fine and dandy. I just promote men to get their passport because nowadays a lot of women, they're just not ideal. They're just not it for what men are actually looking for, because men haven't changed, but women have. So I'm gonna see you guys all in the next video. Get your passport, use it. I'm gonna try to be doing that same thing this year along with you guys, vlogging while I'm out there. I'll see you guys all in the next video. I'm gonna get back up to cooking this content that you guys love. Bounty Villains up, Mastodon's down. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.